Got a little soul speak on the ascension that we all share. This unveiling, this apocalypse. You know, all this discussion of what is reality, conspiracy, heresy, truth that's stranger than fiction. Doesn't get any better than this. It's not just time to bring on the apocalypse, it's time to start riding it. It's not going to hurt us. Because one thing's for sure, in our conscious mind and even in our subconscious, if that's what you want to call it, we have always survived. And the reason for that is because we never die. So when it comes to ascension, what else is there to talk about? This ascension, unveiling, is not complicated. It's just a microcosm of the state of our being from any point, from this present moment to any point in our past. And in regard to the past, now we can look back to see, to awaken without the element of linear time. Yeah. Because the wisdom still comes. Because the universe is never late. That means we can take from our past the powerful wisdom of the eternal moments, seen when we unveil the hurts and the blame given and received. You know, we've reached a point where forgiveness will cease to exist. Because perfection did not create forgiveness, but as a path to a higher perfection, a new reflection of itself, of ourselves. Yeah, it's true. It's just not necessary forgiveness, and neither is earth love. So we can stop chasing both right now and all the false securities and failed searches that go with the lofty goals of a moral world. Both the things that they put beyond our reach and the reasons they gave us for not being able to reach them. It's time to re-enter the fold of the immortal, the fold of the I Am Soul. Let's pull Grace up. What's happening?
Wow.
How are you doing?
Thank you, Todd. Thank you. I'm
it's-
good, but what a ride.
I know, man. I woke up this morning. We had a beautiful night last night, and
Yeah, I saw the pictures.
wow,
Wow.
I'm like,
So much love beaming there. Wow.
yeah, that's what I'm feeling today. You know.
Yeah.
I haven't really even talked to Morgan this morning, but all I can feel is this love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
You?
powerful. Yeah, I'm good, Todd. But wow, we are, this has been a tough ride, huh? This July, August. Wow. Yeah, but I'm good. I'm really good now. But there had been some tough times.
Has there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially July. Not for me now. It's a while ago, but I was really, let's just say, drawn through the underworld.
Yeah.
Drawn through the underworld. Not really of own choice, but sometimes you're just gonna go with it and show up, and there's a reason and a higher plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a rough you know, I don't know if rough and weird. And then this month has gone by so fast. I don't even know. Today's what, the 22nd? I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
I mean, I think about we woke up on July 31st and looked at each other and telepathically knew we're
Yeah,
leaving. We're leaving, you know,
yeah,
and the human kicked and screamed a little bit, but 8 days later we were over here, and now it's what, 2 weeks later,
yeah.
and it's not just us. I'm seeing a lot of people every time I get on the news feed, somebody's packing their stuff and leaving. You know,
Yeah,
Morgan's like, where are we all going? You know.
yeah,
But
yeah,
other than that, you know, well, the other thing I noticed too was well, over this year, and I think in cycles, there was a lot of projection. You know, there was
yeah,
projection. It was just part of the cycles. But this past, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks, maybe even July too, the
yeah.
projection was really loud. Like,
Extreme, extreme,
yeah, and whoever
extreme.
whoever projected, me included, or anybody, I mean, whoever projected, it seemed like that old saying where you get egg on your face, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
wherever that came from seemed to go right back to that person, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So, and that's
And but the thing is, you know, and that's why the key word, you know, it's just detachment,
yeah,
detachment, detachment. Because if you are not attached to your story, to your person, you know, you won't take things personally because it's just like you are like in that neutrality. You don't go into resonance. Yeah, so
no,
it's like oil on water, you know, it just cannot intermingle, you know, it cannot. But of course, it's sometimes it's difficult, but you know, we can really do it. You know, I was in situations, you know, where I just thought this is totally insane, you know, where I just thought, you know, what's going on here? What's, you
yeah,
know, where my world was just turned upside down and said, what's going on? You know, and
yeah,
I was forced to just stay in my heart, you know, and not getting involved, not getting attached, simply staying in the neutrality, you know, and that means what it really means, which I really feel now that I can embrace that. It's really because when you, in a way, when you lose face, if you know what I mean, you can lose face in many ways.
yeah,
And but when you don't go out to protect or defend yourself or to trying to fix or repair or do anything, you come into divine humility.
yeah,
You know, and you can only be in this humility when you are in your heart space, because there's no judgment. You don't compare. You just, in a way, you are a nothing. You are no one.
yeah,
And when you become no one, when you let go of your story and all the attachment you have to your identity, to your story, you know, the need to prove yourself or to you know, I mean, that is underlying there. You know, it's so when you step back from all that, um, you know, in a way, you become a nothing, and when you become a nothing, you let go of all that. You become everything.
yeah,
That's the thing.
yeah,
So it has been really a balance act to yeah, to navigate through all these projections. You know, it has been, and I think especially July was, you know, we were really
yeah.
squeezed
Well,
to the maximum, you know,
yeah,
and forced, you know, really to look, you know, where you still attached to something,
yeah.
you know, yeah, a tough time for many, I think, especially July and then August have just been wow, you know, the energy have just been, you know,
Good. I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear that.
amplifying, you know, but
Mm,
on a daily basis, you know, it's
yeah,
not like before it was like, okay, now we got a portal or we got an eclipse or we got, but it's
yeah,
just a continual upwards curve where the energy has just been increasing, you know.
yeah.
on a daily basis, really, yeah, so we have really, I mean, of course, inevitably it has brought up so much of the collective shadow. So really a deep purge and cleansing have been taking place, which of course has been forced, really to look deep, I mean, yeah, things that, again, some things we thought we've dealt with maybe, and something, what we've pushed aside, and that's also, again, with relationship, or maybe you're in a job or you stay in an area, you gotta move, like you said, it, but you still, and this is actually this new comfort zone, this is the unknown, that's the magic of the unknown. Is just like you and there's no signs, there's no signpost, there's nothing. You just had to surrender and let go and be in the moment, and just not plan anything, and you're really living that now to the maximum.
Yeah.
But we are all forced to it in one way or the other. And actually, it's quite fun when we get used to it, and because it's kind of adventurous. Yeah, it's a adventurous thing. But of course, at first, when you get out of it or get into it, it's like, to move out of to let go and give up control. Of course, it brings up a lot of fear. Yeah.
I think we have found the right subject today.
Yeah.
So Cyril Jones says, I have a ton of egg on my face. And then let's see, July, Diane Richards says, July, yikes. And then Cheryl says, I'm happy I'm not the only one going through this. My stuff is up. Rose Gilbert says it's really bringing out our authenticity, our vulnerability, our rawness, and to really be naked with unshakable trust, jumping into the unknown, realize we are the unknown. A few days ago, and I know that it's not unique to us, and everything's metaphoric, right? I mean, and what goes on with an individual is going on with the collective to some degree or another. And this is evidence. I mean, look at these comments. It's 1:11 in New York City, by the way, at this moment. And but a few days ago, I started feeling dragon energy.
Yeah.
And what really was interesting is it was in the evening, and I felt this energy come in, and I didn't know what it was. And I told Morgan, I said, I got to go for a walk. Like, I mean, it just hit me. That doesn't normally happen to me. So I went for a walk, and it was a masculine energy. It was a mask. I knew it was masculine, and I was like, what's going on here? And it's like, there's a third energy here. It's masculine energy. And I wasn't thinking like people or nothing. I just thought, well, what is this? And it was telling me, as I was trying to talk to it, it said it was there to remove like blocks, and also to to elevate or to teach, to a higher ground, right? So that was pretty much it. Well, the next afternoon, we lay down for just a quick meditation. We do that sometimes, clasp the hands, and immediately this big dragon came before her with a big eye and kept like coming to her face and then back up so she could see it.
Yeah.
Well, I had told her before that happened, I said, this masculine energy came in, and it feels like the Kali energy, but it's masculine. The Kali goddess energy that comes in and rips your heart out and says, hey, we're getting to work. Let's get the stuff out, right? Well, that's what, that's the impression I got. And that's the reason I'm telling the story, is because it seems like, I'm not necessarily that it's masculine, although I do think there's something going on with the false masculine that is finally getting like its knees knocked out in all of us, because it's in all of us.
Yes.
But what I'm getting at, it's like this, what you're describing and what people are talking about. It's like, I don't care who you are. I don't care who you think you are. Okay. I don't give a shit who you think you are, who you channel, who you download, who you transmit, who you activate, who activates you. I don't care, because there's an energy now that's pulling out all of the final, the crap. And it's that crap that we don't want to associate ourselves with. We may not even be conscious of it, but it's also not devastating. You know what I mean? I mean, there's been some stuff come at me. I'm sure I'm not perfect, but there's been some stuff come at me that was pretty loud in projection, and I just kind of, I'm just kind of like, hey, you know what? Thank you. I'm done. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's nothing personal. I'm just like, get messages and someone's projecting on me, and I'm just like, thank you. Thank you for sharing that with me. I'm done. And I think for me, that's the only thing I know to do. You can't engage that energy in yourself. You can't have that conversation in your head anymore, because the universe is not allowing it. You can't be like, Todd, you did this and you did that, or so-and-so did this, or so. You can't have those conversations. And you damn sure can't have them with someone else, because that type of energy, that wounded masculine or wounded ego or wounded child that projects, we've all been there.
Yeah.
You can't, the only way to engage it is to open your mouth.
Yeah.
And the minute you do that, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You're screwed. You cannot, it's like you cannot have a rational conversation with what we've all come to.
Yeah, because if another person that has been triggered for some reason or the other, they are in their pain body. No matter what you say will be twisted, will be turned upside down. It no matter. You can come with love, you come with peace, you can come with, it doesn't matter. There's no way. And so in that kind of moment, the best thing is to just kind of step back.
Yeah.
And that's where the most powerful thing to do is actually not to speak. Not to speak, but to stay in your heart and to not engage energetically, and to just say, okay, I don't have to defend myself, I don't have to validate myself, because you simply can't, because it's just too absurd, it's just too yes, I feel that you do no longer get allowed in one way to then go down to this, when you're used to being up in the higher frequencies. It's you almost can't hold those frequencies anymore, so you just more or less go into the neutrality. Yes, but there has been a lot of fakeness, spiritual ego, all sorts of stuff that have come up, as I wrote, all the false prophets and people who who do not walk their talk, who are not really in integrity, and all that got brought up, and it will continue to do so. We all have stuff where we maybe are not 100% in integrity, whatever it is, but there are just some that really have really not walking their talk at all, where it's so far where they haven't done the inner work. So this, and I'm so relaxed when I'm seeing that, because I know, I don't have to do anything, because everything comes to the surface. Everything would get exposed. It's not my job. It's not my job. I'm just here to shine as much as I can, to stay in my heart. And that's the best way we can support others, remaining in our heart space and beaming the love and staying in neutrality as much as possible. That's, so starting to interact and react when these heavy projections come up, it just doesn't serve anyone. So
it's not, and I'm lucky, I guess, because over I don't know, over the last year or so, year and a half or so, Just because, I don't know why, but one of the main reasons was because I didn't know what to say. I had a lot of messages come in every day, and I was like, I can't do this. You know, it was like too much, like a burden. So I wasn't necessarily doing this because I was being projected on. But what was happening was I would just stop messaging people. Like I wouldn't answer the messages, you know,
Yeah.
because I couldn't. I didn't have. It took everything I had just to do what I'm doing. Then I started to get, hey, why aren't you talking to me? And you know,
Yeah. Why don't you react?
then I was like,
You're
okay,
ignoring me,
yeah, then I'm really
my
not.
wounded inner child. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not pointing fingers at them. I'm just saying I'm lucky because that's kind of what happened. So then when this wave came, it made it easier for me to go to that place. I even wrote a post the other day. I did a spirit walk yesterday, and I said, what's my protection against projection? It's just shut my mouth. Because if I'm on this, if I'm receiving the projection, then I just shut my mouth because it stops. And if I'm actually projecting on somebody and I'm blessed enough that they shut their mouth, then it all ends right there, you know.
Yeah.
Gayatri works with the dragons. We all know that. I think she's coming on tomorrow or the next day. She says the dragons explain to her that the fear-based projections are thrown on us to deliberately distract us from turning into the new frequency. Now, see, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. Like the dragons don't come in, or that energy doesn't come in and say, hey, how you doing? Let's sit down in the chair. I'm going to get the chalkboard and I'm going to teach you something today. They don't do that. They come in and they're very powerful. That energy is very powerful. And it's kind of like that, you know, like some people teach like through a riddle or by making you think. And I can see that. I could see where that energy comes in to test us because it loves us, you know, to make us shift or get off the pot. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the other thing I was going to say too, which I think is a good point to bring up, and we're all here in humility, and we're all here to learn and expand. I am. I don't know nothing, but this spiritual, this spiritual puffiness, you know, I know this and I channel that, and I'm not saying everybody does that. What I'm saying is that there's many people that have been out there for a long time, and I do not consider myself a teacher or anything like that. I'm talking about people that have been doing the work, powerful channels, powerful transmitters, you know, incredible downloads, and they have the balls to share their information for a long time. They're like a, you know, they're like a unicorn out there in the middle of you know, a bunch of horses. I mean, they stand out, and they have. But my point is, it's not anybody's fault. I think what's happened is the collective consciousness and awareness has moved so rapidly that we've left books behind, that we've left Yogi Guru behind, and we're actually leaving a part of us behind that was tuned in at intellect to intelligence, human intellect to infinite intelligence, that has to die now. It has to die now. It's an identity that doesn't go with us, you know. And anyone that's gotten downloads of channeling have all gone through that, where they're like, wow, I'm pretty smart, man. Even if it's just for a few minutes. Like, wow, you know, the galactics came in, and I've had some incredible experiences. And then every now and then you're like, wow, I'm pretty cool. And then the universe comes in and goes like, boom. But I guess what I'm saying is, I think we can, you know, because of this judgment thing, especially the self-judgment thing, it's going away. You can feel all this stuff going away, and I think it's just a part of the journey that we are going to be, you know, leaving this stuff behind, and it's not a big deal. The big deal is if we resist it. Oh, I'm not like that because they're like that. I think it's going to get real hard for any of us to take that stance, because it's all of us, you know.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah. But that's also what I feel more and more, that having had a background, as channel and been in the mystery school, that I'm just getting more and more, I'm letting more and more go of all that. I mean, the mystery school thing I let go already in 2009. I mean, have been working with all the ascended masters. I don't speak much about the ascended master. I don't speak much about any tools. I don't, or teachings, or I come more in this minimalistic, like I'm doing less and less, but simply just becoming, being. Earlier, for example, I did a lot of channeling. So you have to do this, and then oh, now this and that comes up, then I have to do something, and that, I don't. I'm just laying back, like being present in the moment. I don't have to do something. I don't have to say something smart. I don't, I don't go on Facebook every day to necessarily post something. I do when I'm get the urge to do it, and then sometimes there are 3-4 days or even a week where I don't, I'm just silent. But I am, working behind the scenes. I mean, working is not work, but I'm existing. I'm in being. So it's really a lot. I think now that we step back, and as you said, letting go of all this. I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to, for example, like light languages as a whole trend now. We all have to do light language. Actually, I did it years ago, and I was never guided to share it. And it's just interesting to see now. It's kind of a trend. Of course, it is, because we are opening to our divine gifts. Yes, but I mean, there's no particular thing that we have to do. I think the greatest way that we can actually serve the whole is really, beaming the love, focusing on the love. Of course, we are guided to do all sorts of things, and everything is okay. We are all playing our parts.
Yeah.
But as you said, now we are really, moving to a whole new level now. Where we have to, kind of leave all the old tools behind, and we are writing a new story. And it's happening in this moment for you and me, for everyone. Just allowing whatever wants to express itself in whatever form. So it's a whole, there's this freshness and newness, and it's things being born right now. And that's really what's important, that yes, letting go of all the old tools, and in a way, and letting go that, in a way that you become the tool, you become the instrument through letting go of it, because all the things that we read or heard, or whether channelings, or whether we have heard others share something, or workshops or modalities, or all sorts that we have done, it's I mean, most of them are outdated, because it's of the old paradigm. Now all the old timelines are closed. Now we walk bare, we walk naked, and out of that, the more naked we are, the more we can really be instruments of the divine. Yes, because we have no agendas. We have no. We are not narrowed into, I have to do this and that, and I'm this is how I've done previously, and this is what I'm good at, or this is what I've been guided to do. Forget it all, and now we're really there where it's just about, surrendering, being humble, and just, you don't have to do something, particular.
I think that there's some really good comments here. I think there's one here that might be projecting, but I don't know. But no, I think what you're saying is right. Okay, but it's all, to me, it's like, okay, well, so you have this certain part of the grid that probably everyone that's on this, watching this, or that will watch it, is on that grid. And I don't know, I think that the tools and the skills and abilities, I think they're going to be needed and will be utilized for the vast majority. Okay.
Yeah.
Like there's some work that we're going to do, but
Yeah.
it's not like we got to convince each other. It's not like we got to teach each other anymore, but there's enough information out there and it's moving so fast.
Yes.
But what you know, I know. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, it's like vice versa. It's like we pick it up just like we're out here meeting people. You know, we met the Powers a couple of days ago. We met a lot of people. You know, Annie last night. And just being in the proximity of somebody, you're picking up stuff.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
both picking up each, so I'll say that. And then the thing about, I think it's going to be these modalities, the skills, the sacred wisdom brought forward. You know, it's going to be utilized. There's no doubt. And in fact, it may, in some quantum way, have already been done. Like all the work you've done, it's in the ethers. It's on the internet. It's recorded somewhere. It's in the Akashic. It's there. Is it supposed to be for 7.5 billion people here? Is it supposed to be for the next civilization? I don't know how this works. Is it being used? You know, I've gotten intel about Soulogy that it's being picked up by other planets. It's being picked up by other species. They're learning from us.
Yeah.
But what you're saying that is the most compelling thing about it is, to me, is that all of these things make us up. The archangels, the angels, the galactics, the demons, the devils, the everything, right?
Yes.
And so they were like, for each one of us, it has specificity to our missions and things like that. So you might pull this in, I might pull this in, you might do that, I might do that. But it's like 1111s and 5555s. They're like support, synchronicities, validations, memories coming back. And so it's like now, this is what I get from what you're saying. Now it's time for you to be Grace and for me to be Todd. Not Todd, the damaged Todd, not the shattered Todd, but the divine being, a really divine being like Jesus, like Buddha, like Magdalene. That's for all of us. That's why this is such a special time, because it's a mass number of people that are becoming adepts and have become adepts. And adepts don't need to go project, and they don't need to go say, "Hey, look at me." You know, they don't need that. They're healed, they're aligned, and we're universal soldiers. And this is a hell of a training ground. But I think it's time, beyond the cliche and the rah, 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 it's time to own it. It's time to, and I think that's what this synergy's having us do. It's saying, hey, you know what? I'm taking all this away from you, be you. But be the divine human being, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, to own all that. And but you know, I see it, at least for me, it's been like that. You know, first I had to, you know, kind of embrace, you know, the whole line, you know, the human self, the shadow self, all the fragmented parts, you know, to integrate all those parts, to own them, to embrace them, to again to be able to let them go, so they will not have the power over you. Because though you can say they were not real, they were real to us when we were in that. They were real. And but to integrate all that, and then also to integrate all our angelic aspects, our galactic aspects, our, you know, whether it's all the various, our dragon, our unicorn, we are everything, you know. And to really integrate that, and also you know, like the ascended masters, like you say, Jesus, I am Jesus. Yes, I am Mary Magdalene, you know, I am Ashtar, you know, I'm everything, and we all are that. But it's kind of, for me, it has been like to embrace all that, to again to own it, but then to let it go, and to like to become nothing, and then you become everything, then you become it. But then when you first have embraced it, honored it and embraced it, then you can let it go. Not in a mind concept, but you truly have to own it. You
Yeah.
truly have to own and be in that humbleness,
Yeah.
and to know that you know, it's not you, it's everyone. There is only one.
Yeah.
Yes, in infinite expressions, but really to own it first, to really let it go, and then you come into that divine humility, into that, then you become really naked, and then you become this divine divine channel, whatever you want to call it. You just become connect, you become an instrument, a conduit for the divine in all its expression. And then but you need to step aside first for this really to happen. So you really have to get into that nakedness. So that's
Get naked. Everybody get naked.
Yes. Get undressed.
So, and then you're so down to earth. You always have been. But somebody brought up yesterday, and I was seeing some comments here about the Amazon. Well, I remember when the fire was at Notre Dame, and you came out, you and a few others, but I remember you came out with some explanations. Somebody came on yesterday on the open mic and started talking about it, this lady, Liliana, and very passionately. And she was explaining that, she was saying that this is happening to Mother Earth too. And that regardless of what it looks like, essentially, regardless of what it looks like or who started it or whatever. Now, these aren't exactly her words, but what I kind of drew from it was, yes, the same thing is happening to the mother. It's happening to us. So all that crap has to come out. And, you know, and that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. You know, it really does, you know.
It's really a collective fire now for the whole collective, you know, and you know, and the lungs of Mother Gaia, you know, it's literally on fire, you know. It's just such a deep cleanse, and you know, it's kind of, you have to transmute and burn all this deep shadow collective stuff for the phoenix to rise, you know. And so it's incredible, you know. And then of course that it's not covered at all and all this, but that's again, it's distract. So it's really about focusing now and doing the inner work. And but I think what we should also do tonight, we should really, because taking that many people are looking at this video, that we can connect and really seeing it pouring with rain. Maybe we can do that in the rest.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Put all our imaginary powers together, our superpowers, to bring the rain, because this is something we can do it when we come together. We can really do it. And it's just such a disgrace, you know, that it's just ignored now. And at the same time, when we bring all this love together, of course, it will not only, you know, help to transmute, to close, to bring the rain, but also to transmute this dark energies, the shadow energies. So I really suggest that we do that, because
absolutely
it's needed. Yes. And that's why it's with all these strong energies coming in now, it's inevitable that it's really like, it's such accelerated now, that it's picking up momentum, this purging, this cleansing, you know. And we really have to you know, do the inner work now. And you know, we cannot run away anymore. It's really, we really have to face everything. So whether it's in a way mine or yours or whatever, you cannot say that anymore, because we are already so much in this merging process, that, you know, it's all ours. It's all ours. Yeah. And to take responsibility, you know, and not saying, you know, this is not mine or whatever, because
Yeah, that's right. Separation is separation. And I think that's a great idea. I'd love to do that. I was kind of thinking of that when I saw these
yeah,
comments, and you took, well, that doesn't surprise me because
yeah.
you have a connection like that. And another thing that came up yesterday on the, which is the same type of thing. It was a gentleman that came on, Michael Harrell, I think. And he came on and he was explaining, you know, he was explaining this modality that he did, which had to do with, you know, kind of cleansing shadows, very, very strong approach to going into shadow, you know, jumping into the shadow, into the pain, which was interesting. But he was talking about how the world is a reflection. He was basically talking about how it's all us, right?
Yeah.
And he said, even with the example of this pedophilia and the child trafficking and all that horrific stuff, he said, the earth is like your gut, your stomach, you know, where the womb, you know, where everything's held. And he said, that's basically, he said this, I'm going to be not verbatim, that's metaphorically a reflection of our own, well, I don't know if the word would be horrific, but our own tortured inner child that hasn't been, that's been swept aside and you know, that's been neglected and abused. Now we may not see it that way. We may say,
but
oh,
you know, we have abused ourselves.
exactly. And
You
so
know, we have abused. Yeah.
No, I was just saying, his thing is that it's coming out. It's not a bad thing. You know, it's if we look at these things from the human mind only, it looks like, oh my God, the sky is falling. But this is actually it. But it doesn't, to your point, it doesn't take away the fact that if I'm divine, the divine Todd, and you're the divine Grace, and we're divine humans, it's a responsibility to understand that we have a direct impact and a direct effect on what happens in the collective. And only a small human is going to say, oh, I can't affect that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, you know, I always see it like, you know, a big web. You just have to see a spider's web, you know, and you just press on any place on that web and you can just see the whole thing is moving, you know, or whether you throw a stone in the water, you know, you affect all, you know, and you just can't deny it. And that's what it is. Everything is energetically interconnected, you know. So that's why it's so important, you know, to be discerning what we give our energy to, the thoughts that we give our energy to, because it's having an effect on the whole, you know, whether you like it or not, you know. So that's really why we should practice a lot of discipline, you know, and being alert and discerning, you know. Again, also what we interact with, you know, especially now when all this projections are coming up, you know, to say, okay, I look within, okay, I look at my stuff, okay. Sometimes there is stuff to look at, sometimes there's not, because sometimes you just looked at a projection screen, used as a projection screen, and you know, the brighter you shine, the more shit you can bring out.
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth?
Say it bluntly, you know.
Isn't that the truth, though? The brighter you shine, and you think, oh, I'm not saying this from, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I'm talking about myself. Where you say, okay, my light's really bright, and it's cast on whoever, and it brings out their shadow, and they think I'm an asshole or whatever. But the fact is, your light shines really bright, and it looks like it's bringing out the shadow of somebody else. If it bothers you, you know what it is. It ain't them, it's me. You know.
Exactly.
If it doesn't bother you, then you're probably doing okay. You know, I'm not there.
Yes, exactly. And that's always the way that you can see, okay, how far I got, did this trigger me? Did I as I always said, did you get warm ears or moisture hands or what, on
Yeah.
the lump?
Mhm.
Maybe you try to disguise to yourself, this doesn't affect me, but I mean, the physical body, there's this chemical reactions in the body, so you can't ignore it. But this is really a measure where you can see, okay, wow, you can then really see, wow, okay, this would maybe I would have reacted maybe 2 months ago or even yesterday or whatever, and then you can really see how far you've got.
Yeah.
So that's very fun and lovely when you can really see, wow, I didn't need to defend myself or to validate myself or to prove anything, or even to speak up, to sometimes just say, okay, it's not, you can't even mobilize the energy to wanting to start to defend yourself or to make a point,
No.
because you just move on and you own your frequency. You own your frequency. You don't let yourself being torn down or being drawn down by others who maybe want to feed on you. Yes, because there are also many out there who wants to feed on this light that are not willing, sometimes maybe not able, but that's a bit to do the inner work, and they feed sometimes on others, and so again, be very aware of that, because it's easy then to go, because we have learned, I have to be unconditional love, and I have to, as you said, you didn't respond to those messages because it just didn't, it didn't feel right, and maybe it was just too much, and you just took yourself the freedom, without going into guilt about, I have to be answering everyone, I have to love everyone, I have to be unconditional love. Yes, you can still be that, but you don't own anybody anything other than being true to yourself, being in integrity. Don't do it, something because someone expects you to do something,
I mean,
really,
you think about what we do individually. What we all do it. We all seek, or it's important to us. It's a priority to go find solitude. Talk about meditation or prayer or whatever you want to go, chanting or whatever you want to. But we find a place, nature. You find a place, and you're silent. Why? You're silent so you can get your shit together, so you can think, so you can chill out. So why wouldn't we respect that in each other?
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't say something, why not just say, okay, you know what? I respect that. I don't know what the deal is. I don't understand. It's none of my business. Rather than say, why, you know what I mean? I mean, we do it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's take it out to, it just makes sense, because we spend all this time doing to others, but silence is a powerful thing, especially now, because we need that. We need that silence so we can actually feel ourselves and hear ourselves and feel the energy that Morgan has a saying. She'll say, sometimes it's not me, sometimes it's not you, sometimes it's just the energy, and we've all been, we've all been a part of that. We've all, what was it, yesterday? I mean, I woke up yesterday, she was crying, I was like, took a walk, I started crying, and it had nothing to do with anything that happened.
No.
And then we get on, and she said, have you been on Facebook? I said, no. She says, everybody's doing it. Like everybody's sad, And then I did this open mic, and everybody was like, I mean, so it wasn't you and it wasn't me. It's just the energy. And one of the other things that came out yesterday too was, we've done a damn good job. We have all done. First of all, we all showed up. Okay, we are the darlings of the universe. We are doing yeoman's work. This is a universal correction. We're aligning ourselves as within, without. This is we're healing Pleiadian scars. We're healing reptilian shadow. We're healing conflict, dispute, galactic. We're doing this, you know.
Yeah.
But even at the most human level, which is the level, these little acts, these conversations, these open the door for a lady, or give someone a compliment, or give someone the benefit of the doubt and the respect and the honor and the love, and say, it's okay for you to be quiet. You don't want to talk to me? That's okay. You know, those little things carry just a huge power that has repercussions all the way through every timeline, every dimension, you know, every one of our galactic brothers and sisters. I mean, you know, this is I think there is room for us to have a little healthy pride with being who we are, what we are, and what we're a part of, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
We're the shit, man.
Yeah. All inclusive.
So this Amazon thing, I think I didn't know a lot about it till yesterday, and I just pulled it up.
Yeah, I saw it today, you know, because I rarely go on the news feed actually. So, but then I saw it today. So I didn't really know something. I didn't know about it until today, but obviously, I mean, I read today that it has been going on like for 3 weeks or something.
Yeah, it looks like this article, I was trying to turn it on, but I couldn't turn it on. So first of all, this is CNN. You know, I just try to take everything with a grain of salt. I'm not saying that it's not happening, because it's obviously happening. But what I'm getting at is, you know, just keep that in mind. I mean, that they feed us what they want to feed us. You know, they understand that the power is in invoking fear, invoking anger, invoking it's us against them. I mean, they've used
creating separation. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and in that subliminal, subtle programming. But to your point, it is happening. We know that it looks bad. We also know that we could affect. We can affect things.
That's what I mean. No matter who did it, and all this many discussions, and I saw several postings. You know, fuck it.
Yeah.
You know, because no matter who did it, it doesn't bring any solution to anything. We should exactly use the energy, take responsibility, not it was that guy or that guy or that guy, you know. Look at yourself and say, okay, it's us.
Yeah, true.
It's us, because we are all a reflection of the whole, and just saying, you know, what can we, you know, instead of using all the energy to pointing fingers and being angry about what's going on, you know, mobilize all the love and you know, to take responsibility to clear this stuff, you know, to clear this dark shadow, you know. So it's really like you need this you know, I see it like when the you know, when the snake shed its skin, you know. So it's really to have this shift, you know, taking place, or so, you know, so basically to unite our superpowers and our love to you know, to make a difference, and to not saying, you know, we can't do anything because there's those in power that blah 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 blah. We are the ones in power. You are in power. I am in power. We're everyone in power. So it's really owning that power, which is actually not ours. It is source. It is the divine, but we are the instruments, and we can all access that. We can all being a channel for that, and so we become that, you know, when we accept that and own it and unite in the heart, then we can really kick ass.
Well, I can't think of anyone better to lead us through it than you. So I think every time we end the show, you always do something, and And I think this is really important.
Yes.
And you got the right beat on it. I mean, you lead us through it. And if you disappear this time, I'll go ahead and, if you totally disappear this time, I'll go ahead and say goodbye to everybody for you.
Yeah. Okay, so we just come deeply into our hearts to just let our spirit, all that we are, the higher aspects of our being, all lower aspects, all that we are, to unite, to merge all polarity, just becoming one into our heart space. And to find that sacred space, that sacred sanctum within our heart, the very womb of creation, the powerful love that is who we truly are, to unite and to connect through that power, all our hearts together into one. Breathing together as one being. Being one heartbeat. All of humanity, with all life, with the animals, connecting and uniting our breath with the cosmic breath of all of creation. Gaia breathes, and you can see how it comes and goes, like when the waves comes into the shore and withdraw, coming into this spiral of creation, of death and rebirth, and ongoing, coming and going, becoming one and surrendering into this divine flow and the love that permeates everything. And let's connect in our heart with all life, with everyone, with our neighbors, with our community. Let's unite and hold hands and form a circle and connect and hold Gaia within our hearts. And we will now call forth all cosmic forces to unite, to bring forth the rain, to feel, taste and sense and hear the rain pouring down on all places where the fires are raging, cooling down, transmuting the rage, which is only a reflection of our own rage against ourselves, against the darkness that has not yet been embraced, but have been withheld, the love which is part of creation, all the pain, and now let the rain and the waters pour down, let the heavens open and pour down the rain to cease all the fire, to transmute, cleanse, all the fires. And we ask Father, Mother, God, and the angelic hosts to send healing to all the animals that are trapped, all those animals that have lost their home. Let's send love to all the trees, to all the nature spirits that have held the light, to all the elementals that have now been forced to spread in the wind. Let's send them our love. And let's ask for forgiveness. That we abandoned Gaia. That we didn't take responsibility in the past. But now, each one of us, let's commit to look deep within and let all the shadow emerge, show up and come to the surface so it may be cleansed now in the fires of transmutation in each one of us, as we are a reflection of Gaia, and Gaia is a reflection of us. We are one. We are one being. And so as we allow this transformation, as we embrace everything with love, the anger and the pain shall be transmuted into love and to the highest light and frequency. That will support the emerging of this new heaven on earth, where all life is sacred and honored as part of who we are, as part of the one all, the source of all that is. Let it rain, let it pour down now. Let's dance in the rain. Let's join forces and make a rain dance. Let's celebrate Gaia. Let's celebrate life with this rain dance. And through the joy of our hearts, the rain will pour down. And it will cool down the fires and cease the fires everywhere, one by one. They will extinguish. And through the joy and the love of our hearts, the new heaven shall emerge. The phoenix shall rise within each one of us. A huge phoenix. A new new humanity, a golden race of enlightenment, of enlightened beings, Christ beings, a new earth of harmony, balance, and peace. It is for each of us to embrace the mighty I am that I am. To own our ability to respond, to act, and co-create. In coherence with the law of one, to honor all life. Because what you do to the earth, you do to thyself. So let it rain. Let there be light. Let there be light. Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. And so it is.
Thank you. It is done.
It is done. And thank you to everyone for having joined in this prayer, in this ritual, for bringing the rain and for transmuting this collective pain, for being united in the heart. I feel so much love now, and I feel really that we are so connected now. So thank you to everyone.
Thank you, Grace. Thanks for coming on again.
You're welcome.
It's always great. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yes. You're welcome. You're welcome.
You take care. Love you.
Yeah, take care. Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.